All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, after an 0-3 start to the 2021 National Football League season, all signs point to the end of Dave Gettleman as the general manager of the New York Football Giants. Now, since Gettleman became the general manager of the Giants in 2018, the franchise is 15-36, and things do not appear to be getting better. On both sides of the ball, the Giants have failed to find enough impact players to turn things around, and that really falls into the lap of Gettleman. And I've said it before this season, and I'll say it again: the Giants just don't know how to win games. They know how to play hard and they can play competitive, but taking that next step and being able to win these close games, they simply don't know how to do. John Mara, the team's co-owner, of course, hired Dave Gettleman. Of course, Gettleman did have a little sprinkle of success as a general manager of the Carolina Panthers, but of course, he came from that Giant family. He was an assistant in the front office for many years before going on to Carolina. But the bottom line is, John Mara has to find a way to right this ship for his organization. This is the worst stretch that the Giants have been in since the 1970s. I cannot harp on this enough. Just two winning seasons since they last won the Super Bowl in 2011, only one playoff appearance and zero playoff wins. And the way that things are looking for the Giants right now, this is probably going to be their fifth consecutive year in which they lost at least 10 games. So you look at this Giants franchise, a once proud franchise. You can't say that they are still a proud franchise or like a cornerstone of the NFL because they've gotten away from that. And yes, they are one of the older franchises, but you look at teams like the Detroit Lions, they've been around for a long time. You can't call them a cornerstone because they simply don't win. And the further that we get away from 2011, the further that people are going to remember when this Giants team was relevant. But all is not lost because I still think, barring like some unforeseen turnaround, that Gettleman's going to be gone because the Giants are barreling towards another bad season. And if they do get a new general manager, he has a chance to really hit the ground running because the Giants own the Chicago Bears first round pick heading into the 2022 NFL draft. Of course, that was for the Justin Fields trade. And now that pick is looking like it's going to be a high one because the Bears are struggling. They also own the Bears fourth round pick, and they also own a third round pick from the Miami Dolphins. And when you sum everything up, the Giants already have 11 picks heading into next year's NFL draft. And I always talk about picks, but I also say that picks are only good if you know what you're doing with them. So that's the most important thing. Whoever is running the Giants draft next season, or next year rather, must hit on these picks. I mean, do the Giants have a fire sale at some point in the season before the trade deadline and try to stockpile more picks? We'll have to wait and see. But the bottom line is they've got to find a way to get this turned around. And if the Giants mess up this hire for the next general manager, their futility is going to continue for at least 5 more years because you need to have somebody in there that knows how to evaluate talent and finding guys at the collegiate level that can do their thing at the pro level. And most importantly, you have to find winners. You have to have guys in your locker room that hate to lose more than they enjoy winning. And I know that these guys, they're out there, they're practicing, they're competing, they're giving it all they have, but they just are missing something on Sunday afternoons in those critical situations. A lot of people are going to say what happened to the Giants' pride because, this was something that was talked about a lot under former head coach Tom Coughlin. And, of course, the Giants have gotten away from their winning ways. And just like winning is contagious, so is losing. So you have to find somebody at the top of your organization who is going to reverse the culture. Why? Because you have a fan base that is very upset. And just as I talked about, this is the worst stretch of football for the New York Giants since the 1970s. you have a portion of their fan base that has not seen that. So this is all new territory for them. So because of that, and also because of the fact that you're playing in New York City, people want to see results. So I think, just like it was in the hiring of Joe Judge, and I still think Joe Judge is a solid coach. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits into this whole equation. But this is going to be the most important hire that John Mara makes as the co-owner of the New York Giants. Because the thing is this: either you're going to find somebody that's going to get you out of this rut, or the futility is going to continue. And the bad thing, if you are a fan of the New York Giants, aside from everything else, you look at this NFC East, which was once upon a time the glamour division in the National Football League. For the past 5 or 6 years, this has been a very winnable division for all four teams because there's mediocrity there. And the Giants, for their sake, have been unable to get a taste of that. So that just only is going to frustrate fans more when they see a team go 9-7 or 8-8 and win the division, or in the case of Washington last year, go 7-9. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Giants do. But I will tell you this: if this losing continues, Gettleman will not last the season. And if this losing continues, I think Gettleman is gone by Thanksgiving. Just my opinion. We'll have to wait and see. But whoever the Giants get to be their general manager next season, he's going to have a great opportunity to turn things around. But the bottom line is, everybody within this organization has to roll up their sleeves and go to work and try to figure it out, because the futility has found a way to go from bad to worse. Of course, it falls in the lap of the general manager and the owner. Now it's time for the people from above to try to get the ship righted for Big Blue. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.